The rights are also expounded in the Employment Act 2007, which expressly provides that the rights apply to both permanent and pensionable and contract employees. Honorable Speaker, in what appears to be blatant negation of Article 41 of the Constitution and the provisions of the Employment Act, Ashton Apparel EPZ Limited and Mombasa Apparel EPZ Limited, both owned by the same owner, by one owner I mean, has been in the limelight in the recent past for incidences of unfair treatment of over 4,000 employees. The injustices include denial of leave days and sick-offs, sexual advances and harassment in exchange for preferential treatment or otherwise, unexplained deductions of dues, unlawful contract terms, prohibition of joining trade unions, and unlawful termination of employment or dismissal. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Labor on the matter. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the chairperson should, 1, provide a report on the extent of compliance by Ashton Apparel EPZ Limited and Mombasa Apparel EPZ Limited with the provisions of Article 41 of the Constitution and the Employment Act regarding the company's treatment of employees. 2, state the supervisory measures and actions taken to ensure that the above-mentioned employers, their agents, trustees, and/or assignees fully comply with the provisions of Article 41 of the Constitution and the Employment Act on Fair Labor Relations. Number 3, explain the reasons why the named companies have been unlawfully compelling employees to take up one-month contracts contrary to Section 9(1) that stipulates contract service to be a period of, or a number of working days which amount in the aggregate to the equivalent of 3 months or more. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, explain whether the two companies followed due process in terminating service for affected employees as spelled out in Section 46 of the Employment Act, and if not, could the unlawful termination of employment be immediately reversed? Number 5, Mr. Speaker, the chairperson is also supposed to state whether all terminated employees have been paid gratuity for the number of years served prior to the takeover by the new management, and if not, when will the dues be settled? Mr. Speaker, before I sit, I beseech you, due to the wisdom that you have, that you possess, that you are known for, and generosity, to allow a few members of this honorable House to ventilate on this matter, because it is a matter of national importance, of course, and national concern. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I submit.
Omar Mwinyi, statements are statements. The best I can do for you is direct the chairperson responsible for social welfare. Is it Karemba? Is it Labor? Labor, that's Karemba. Direct majority leader, you instruct the chairperson to bring a response to that statement in 2 weeks. Omar Mwinyi, that is the best I can do for you. Thank you for your generous description of me, but that notwithstanding, we must follow the rules.
Maybe, Mr. Speaker, those are your qualities, and I'm proud to give you those credentials because you deserve. Otherwise, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I oblige.
Thank you, thank you. Next, David Kiplagat. Member for Soy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to request for a statement regarding the implementation, the impending sale of Uchumi Langata IPA, land LR number 209/12593, under insolvency petition 25 of 2018. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson, Department Committee on Finance and National Planning regarding the impending sale of Uchumi Langata IPA, LR number 209/12593, under insolvency petition 25 of 2018 by the UBA Bank. Honorable Speaker, Uchumi Supermarket Limited is a public limited liability company in Kenya that was placed under receivership in 2006 after 30 years of operation in the country. The company closed down its operation due to financial woes, and from 2020, it has been operating under the Company for Voluntary Arrangement, that is the CVA. The arrangement allowed restructuring of its debts so as to be paid over a period of 6 to 10 years. Honorable Speaker, whereas the agreed CVA was to be financed with proceeds of the sale of Kasarani Mall property, Uchumi has been unable to sell the said property due to disputes. The company has revised the CVA approved with creditors on 31st August 2023 to allow settlement of the creditors' debts in 2 lump sum payments with proceeds from the sale of 2 separate parcels of the Kasarani Mall properties, namely LR 5875/2 and LR 23393. Honorable Speaker, following the company's inability to implement the revised CVA, Uberbank filed insolvency petition 25 of 2018, seeking leave to sell the Langata property, LR number 209/12593, charged under its name, in order to recover its principal loan amounting to Kenya shillings 165,502,101, including the interest. In 2017, the National Treasury loaned Uchumi Kenya shillings 1.2 billion and charged it on the same property, that is the Langata land. Charged on the same property. Uchumi appealed to the National Treasury and Economic Planning to support its defense against the imminent sale has been met with a cold response. Honorable Speaker, if the UPA Bank is allowed to sell the property at depressed valuation, government risks the loss of its secured asset, which stood at Kenya shillings 1.48 billion in 2016. Yet the bank's interest in the property is Kenya shillings 161,502,101. The sale will jeopardize the company's chance to implement the revised CVA, and other creditors will lose their dues. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning on the following. 1, explain the circumstances under which the National Treasury and the National Planning has been reluctant to be enjoined in the Uchumi defense against the impending sale of its Langata property, LR number 209/12593, under the insolvency petition 25 of 2018. Yet the ministry is the custodian of the government's stake in the Uchumi, its assets and property. And 2, explain plans the government has in place in order to rescue Uchumi Langata property from being auctioned at a loss in order to safeguard public interest for posterity, as well as protection of other vulnerable and unsecured creditors from the imminent loss. Thank you, Your Honorable Speaker. I submit.
Thank you, Honorable DK. Honorable Member for Cases, you had asked me if you can speak to this. I will not allow you. I'll follow the same precedent I set on Omar Mwinyi. Statements are statements and they end there. I direct Majority Leader is the chair. Does this fall under finance? Kimani? Yeah. You are the chair. You bring us response to that statement in 2 weeks.
Sure.
Thank you. Next order. Sorry, we go to Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give the statement, our Thursday statement, on behalf of the House Business Committee, which met on Tuesday, 24th October 2023, to prioritize the business for consideration during the week. Honorable Speaker, from the onset, allow me to commend the leadership of the House, including chairpersons of committees and all members for the dedication and diligence exhibited so far during this part of the session. Honorable Speaker, the participation of members and committees has seen the consideration and conclusion of a number of key items of business in the House. Members will note that in accordance with the calendar of the House, for the second regular session, the House will adjourn for the short recess commencing tomorrow, Friday, 27th October 2023. The House will resume on Tuesday, 7th November 2023 at 2:30. This time, I hope members will go to their constituencies and stay there and pray together with those that are doing the KCPE examinations. We should not be seeing them loitering. That's time. But they should go to their constituency and join their families. Honorable Speaker, upon resumption, the House is expected to consider the following business, some of which is listed in today's order paper. 1, second reading of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund, the Amendment Bill 2023. Second reading of the Conflict of Interest Bill 2023. Consideration of the reports of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for Taveta, for 12 constituencies in Kakamega County. Report on 1970 UNESCO Convention on the means of prohibiting and preventing the illicit import, export, and transfer of ownership of cultural property. Honorable Speaker, we shall also have the sessional paper number 1 of 2023 on the Kenya National Population Policy for Sustainable Development, and the report of the Kenya delegation to the 4th General Assembly of the East African Parliamentary Alliance on Food Security and Nutrition. We also have the report on the inspection of various one-stop border posts in the Northern Corridor in the East African Community Region. We shall also have a report on the loans contracted by the national government between May 2023 and April 2023. Next will be the reports of the Auditor General 23 non-compliant state corporations, report on the proceedings of the second ordinary session of the 6th Pan-African Parliament, PAP, and report on the proceedings of the 2023 United Nations High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. Honorable Speaker, notably, the House awaits to report on various items, and I urge the committees to use the short recess to expedite any pending business. These include reports on bills, treaties, approval hearings, inquiries, and responses to statements for onward processing by the House. It is worth noting, Honorable Speaker, that the ongoing approval hearings include the consideration of a nominee for the appointment of a member to the National Government Constituencies Development Fund and nominees for appointment as ambassadors, high commissioners, and permanent representatives to various foreign missions. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A, 5, and 6, I wish to convey that the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration, who was scheduled to appear before the House yesterday, Wednesday, 25th October 2023, will now appear on Wednesday, 8th November 2023. So the Cabinet Secretary will be here to answer our questions, and these questions are the following. Those members that have questions to the Cabinet Secretary for the Interior, please note your questions so that you are here during that time. Question by private notice number 012-2023 by the member for Mathioya constituency, the Honorable Dr. Edwin Mugo, MP, regarding the disappearance of Ms. Esther Ruguru, a resident of Mathioya constituency. 2, question by private notice number 013-2023 by the member for the Nakuru Town East constituency, the Honorable David Gikaria, who is currently in his place, regarding the death of Amaina Yasmin Njoki at Mbaruk Center in Gilgil constituency. Question by private notice number 14-2023 by the member for Kinango constituency, the Honorable Gonzi Rai. I don't know whether he's at his place. The Honorable Gonzi Rai, regarding the status of investigations into the death of Nyaengala Chamtu Amaina. Question by private notice number 015-2023 by the member for Nyakach constituency, the Honorable Aduma Owor, MP, regarding the insecurity situation in Sondu within Nyakach constituency. Question by private notice number 1016-2023 by the member for Lamu County, the Honorable Monica Mudhoni Marubu. She's not in her place. Regarding the frequent attacks in Widho, Salama, Juhudi, Ziwalata, Bobo, and Roka within Lamu County. Question by private notice number 017-2023 by the member for Mwingi. I can't see him at his place. Mwingi Central, the Honorable Gideon Mulyungi, MP, regarding the apprehension of suspected armed bandits terrorizing the residents of Okasi and Waita area within Mwingi West constituency. Question number 143-2023 by the member for Kandui constituency, the Honorable John Makali, MP, regarding the accessibility of registration services within Bungoma County. Question number 197-2023 by the member for Mombasa County, the Honorable Zamzam. I can't see her at her place. Zamzam Mohammed, MP, regarding the dismantling of juvenile criminal gangs operating within Kisauni, Likoni, and Old Town in Mombasa County. Question number 198-2023 by the member for Mwingi North constituency, the Honorable Paul Nzengu, regarding the status of investigation into the death of Mr. Muo Mudhengi. Question number 201-2023 by the member for Kitutu Masaba constituency, the Honorable Giseiro Clive Ombane, MP, regarding the status of investigations into the gruesome murder of a Mr. Edward Morema Nyangechi and Mama Grace Morema. Question number 203-2023 by the member for Ndiwa constituency, the Honorable Martin Peters Owino, MP, regarding the subdivision of the constituency into 3 operational and adequately staffed administrative sub-counties and corresponding divisions. Question number 264-2023 by the member for Kinangop constituency, the Honorable Kwenya Thuku, MP, regarding the various status of investigations to the death of watchmen in the various schools by gangs in Kinangop constituency. Question number 265-2023 by the member for Kitutu Churches South, the Honorable Anthony Kibagedi, MP, regarding the measures by the ministry to address the widespread abuse of drugs and banned substances in the country. Question number 266-2023 by the member for Endebes constituency, the Honorable Dr. Robert Pokose, who is firmly in his place, always present, MP, regarding the status of the investigations to the death of PC Emmanuel Kiprop from Endebes constituency, who was killed by a mob in Kathanje Market of Tharakanithi County. Question number 270-2023 by the member for West Pokot County, the Honorable Rael Kasiwai, MP, regarding the efforts by the ministry to address the conflicts on boundaries within West Pokot County. Question number 344-2023 by the member for Wajir West constituency, the Honorable Yusuf Mohammed, MP, regarding the status of investigations to the death of 2 minors, namely Abdisalan Hussein Isaac and Munazil Ado on 4th May and 4th June 2023. Question number 345 5, 2023, by the member for Kisumu West constituency, the Honorable Rosa Buyu, MP. I cannot see her at her place. MP regarding the status of investigation into the death of a minor by the name Marion Atieno on 3rd June 2023. Question number 389, 2023, by the member for Gilgil constituency, the Honorable Martha Wangari, MP, regarding the changes made to the National Police Service Medical Insurance Scheme. And question on number 454, 2023, by the member for Lam East constituency, the Honorable Captain Ruwaida Obo, MP, regarding the apprehending of Al-Shabaab militants in Lamu County. Honorable Speaker, as stated in your message, His Excellency the President is scheduled to address the House of Parliament during the annual State of the Nation address on Thursday, 9th November 2023, in fulfillment of the provisions of Article 132, 1 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, in conclusion, the House Business Committee will reconvene on Tuesday, 7th November 2023, to schedule business for the rest of the week. On behalf of the House Business Committee, I take this opportunity to wish members a fruitful working recess as they discharge their parliamentary and constituency obligations. I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Majority Leader, honorable members, before we go to the next issue, you recall yesterday I directed the stepping down of the Kenya Drugs Authority bill and gave several directions on how to handle it. I want to add that the committee, in bringing together all members with proposed amendments, must work and make sure that by the time we resume from the short recess, that is the 7th of November, you will be through with the process, and I direct that the bill be on the order paper of the 7th of November, and the Office of the Clerk is further directed to facilitate the members under the Committee of Health to have expedited meetings. Members with amendments to that bill, please note that you have next week to deal with your issues with the committee under the chairmanship of the Vice Chair, but with the participation, active participation of the Chair of the committee. Thank you. Next, allow me to recognize Kiragu Secondary School from Mwea in Kirinyaga. The member for Mwea has asked me to give her 1 minute to welcome her school. Honorable Maingi, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me this chance to welcome Kandongu Secondary School from Mwea to this house. I want to encourage the students to aspire to return to this honorable house someday when they're members of parliament. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to also take this chance to wish all the candidates of Mwea constituency success in their examinations, and indeed all the candidates of this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion. Report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Public Service Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 46 of 2022.
Move Chairperson, Honorable Daud.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Public Service Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 46 of 2022, and approved the same with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Dr. Robert Pokose to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole on its consideration of the public. Is it the public service? Yes. Yes, okay. Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, I now put the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the Public Service Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 46 of 2022, be now read a third time, and I also request Honorable Dr. Pokose to second.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to second the Public Service Amendment Bill of 2022, and I want to thank the members for supporting this bill that is now come to this stage. Madam Speaker, I also want to wish members enjoyable short recess, and want to wish my constituents of Endebess who are sitting for the exams success in both their KCB, KCSE, and the other KSS. So thank you, Madam Speaker. I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that the Public Service Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 46 of 2022, be now read a third time. It's the mood of the House that I should put the question. Honorable members, I have confirmed that the House is properly constituted for the purpose of making this decision. I therefore put the question, which is that the Public Service Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 46 of 2022, be now read a third time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Public Service Values and Principles Act and to provide for connected purposes. Order number 9, motion, report of the Committee of the Whole House on the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022.
Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the National Construction Amendment. I take that again, Honorable Speaker. I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022, and its approval thereof without amendments. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Wachira Karani to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I second.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Honorable members, I put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly number 59 of 2022, be now read a third time. I also request Honorable Washira Karani to second.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I second.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022, be now read a third time. Honorable members, I have confirmed that we have the requisite quorum in the House for the purpose of making this decision. I therefore put the question, which is that the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022, be now read a third time. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the National Construction Act and for connected purposes. Order number 10, the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Amendment number 2 bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2023, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act and for connected purposes. Order number 11, the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2023, second reading.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Amendment Bill 2023, National Assembly Bill number 13 of 2023 be read for the second time. Honorable Speaker, this is a bill that is co-sponsored by the leader of minority, the Honorable MATIANG'I, MGH, and the leader of majority, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, MGH. And I wish to commend the Select Committee on the National Government Constituency Development Fund on the work it has done. I will now give a brief highlight, Honorable Speaker, of the proposed amendments. Honorable Speaker, as you know, this is a very crucial bill, especially for members of the National Assembly here, and you know that we cannot say much about what National Government Constituency Development Fund has done. It's done tremendous good things for this country. And therefore, this is one of those pieces of legislation that is transformative. And Honorable Speaker, I would like to state that this bill seeks to amend various provisions in the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act 2015 that have been challenged in court and attracted adverse opinion, and thus seeks to ensure compliance with the Constitution of Kenya, and specifically in relation to separation of functions. Honorable Speaker, the Supreme Court of Kenya judgment held that the NGCDF Act 2013 violated the vertical division of powers between the national government and the county government. Honorable Speaker, currently there is an ongoing petition in courts challenging the constitutionality of NGCDF Act 2015, citing that the act violates the principles of separation of powers, and that the act violates the division of functions between the national government and the county government, and that the act was passed without involving the Senate and the Commission on Revenue Allocation. Honorable Speaker, the petition at court also states that the act violates the basic structure of the Constitution, rule of law, distinctiveness of the levels of government. And lastly, the petition also has something that says that the act violates the principles of public finance. However, Honorable Speaker, it's good to note that the Chief Justice is yet to constitute a bench to consider the petition. The matter will be mentioned, we are informed that the matter will be mentioned on the 30th of November 2023 to confirm whether the bench will have been constituted by then. Therefore, this bill comes in a good time, such that by the time the bench is constituted, allegations of unconstitutionality of the CDF Act 2015 will be moot. The concerns raised in the petition having been addressed through this amendment. So, Honorable Speaker, this bill seeks actually to address the issues that are being raised in the petition that is before the court of law, the issues of constitutionality and all that. So as we debate and pass this bill, we will be addressing the issues of constitutionality as raised in the petition. Honorable Speaker, the bill has 14 clauses. It's a small bill, Honorable Speaker, and you can pick it from the table office and go through it and understand. And I think the memorandum is very self-explanatory, and the issues being canvassed here are very easy to understand. So I request honorable members to pick a copy of the bill from the House, from the table office. Honorable Speaker, in the 14 clauses, the amendments can be generally classified as aligning the Act to funding of projects falling under the exclusive functions of the national government, as set out in the 4th schedule of the Constitution. In addition, Honorable Speaker, the amendments seek to separate powers between the two levels of government, that is, the national government and the county governments. Honorable Speaker, Clause 2 of the bill provides for the amendment of Section 3H of the Act to provide that the objects of the fund shall be to facilitate the National Assembly to exercise its oversight role. That the National Assembly in in CDF now will just be oversight role. That is what that clause tries to do. Of exclusive national government projects and supplement for infrastructure development of projects falling under the exclusive functions of the national government at the constituency level as provided for in the Constitution. This ensures that the fund shall only fund projects falling under the exclusive functions of the national government at the constituency level as set out in the 4th schedule of the Constitution. This is just to neaten up this area, to just emphasize that national governments or constituency development fund will only fund those functions that are in the purview of the national government as provided for in Schedule 4 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, Clause 3 provides for the deletion of Section 4(3) to cater for situations where collected government revenue is lower than the preceding year and which may necessitate lower allocation to the fund than the previous financial year. Honorable Speaker, in the 4th clause, the bill provides for the amendment of Section 15 of the Act to empower the Public Service Commission to make recommendations to the Cabinet Secretary on the persons to be appointed as members of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Board. Usually, in the past, the Public Service Commission has not been involved in identifying and ensuring that we have a placement of board members. But in this, when we do the amendment of Section 15, then the Public Service Commission will have a say on who is appointed to the board. Honorable Speaker, Clause 5 of the bill provides for the repealing of Section 19 and substituting it with elaborate provisions that incorporate the public service recruitment process of board members as envisioned under Article 234 of the Constitution, that appointment of members of the board should be competitive. So we are allowing this amendment to provide for the issues as provided in the Constitution, that we don't just pick people, but there is competitive and follows the values and principles of public service. And therefore, this article, this Section 19, does that, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, Clause 6 of the bill provides for the repeal and replacement of Section 24 of the Act to provide that a project under the Act shall only be in respect of works and services falling within the exclusive functions of the national government under the Constitution. It seeks to remove funding of community-based projects that benefit widespread cross-section inhabitants of a particular area. Honorable Speaker, Clause 7 of the bill provides for the deletion of Section 25(8) and 10 of the Act, which empowers the NGCDF to fund sports activities and environmental activities. within the constituencies, provided those activities do not exceed 2% respective of the total allocations to the constituency in every year. The Honorable Speaker, if you go to clause 8 of the bill, it provides for the amendment of section 34 by inserting a new paragraph to provide that the total allocation to a constituency shall not be less than the amount allocated to the constituency in the preceding financial year, so that there is gradual graduation of the fund from a lower level, so that each year we cannot allocate lesser than what was allocated in the previous year. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, clause 9 of the bill provides for the amendment of section 43(2) by increasing the number of male and female members nominated to the constituency committee from 2 to 3. Clause 9B of the bill provides for the amendment of section 43(6) by providing that the first meeting of the constituency committee shall be convened within 120 days of the holding of a general election. So that 120 days after holding of a general election, then this new CDF committee is constituted and put in place. That is what that clause will do. Now, clause 9C of the bill provides for the amendment of section 43(8) by increasing the term of office of a member of the constituency committee from 2 years to 3 years renewable. You know, after 2 years, we usually come back to this house and say we would like to reconstitute our committees, and that this house approves. But now we want to increase that from 2 years to 3 years, so that the contract of the people that you're working with, at least they can work for 3 years, and you'll be able to gauge the output of the committee that you have. Honorable Speaker, clause 2 of the bill seeks to repeal section 52 of the Act, which provides that allocation to the fund are supplementary. Clause 11 of the bill seeks to repeal section 53 of the Act, which establishes the Constituency Oversight Committee, which comprises the member of the National Assembly and 4 other persons appointed by the Member of Parliament in consultation with the stakeholders. Clause 12 of the bill seeks to repeal section 53A of the Act, which provides for the facilitation of the Constituency Oversight Committee, which is consequential to the repeal of section 52 of the Act. These amendments seek to align with the principle of public finance management, which calls for the prudent use of public resources through avoiding double allocation of funds in accordance with Article 201 of the Constitution. This will prevent imprudent use of the public resources created by unnecessary and parallel and duplicative offices, bodies, and structures. Honorable Speaker, if you're running CDF, you know that there's a committee where the chairperson of that committee is the Member of Parliament, the Oversight Committee. Now, in this new arrangement, it seeks to repeal that section so that there is no duplicative role. As a Member of Parliament, it is your duty to oversight that committee, that CDF, and you do not have to sit in a committee where you are remunerated or given funding to do your job, for which you already do as a Member of Parliament. That is the essence of that amendment. But that's what it means. If the Oversight Committee that is there now is repealed, you will offer oversight as a Member of Parliament for the CDF as it's supposed to be in your armpit as a Member of Parliament, whose other role is oversight, oversighting government projects. Honorable Speaker, Clause 13 of the bill provides for deletion of section 54(2) of the Act, which provides that normal government development and allocation shall continue alongside projects funded under the Act. Honorable Speaker, Clause 14 of the bill provides for the consequential amendment to Section 14 of the National Government Coordination Act, number 1 of 2013, to ensure that constituencies are recognized as national government service delivery units. In the present, NGCDF office or setup is seen as separate from the national government offices. But now, in this, NGCDF will now be part of the government service delivery unit, such that if the county commissioner calls for a meeting or the sub-county commissioner calls for a meeting of government officers, then the fund managers and officers of NGCDF are welcome, because now that entity is part of the national government delivery services. It is not separate. It is part of national government, and therefore ensures that you are part of the coordination that is done at the county level or in the national government services. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I note that amendments to the bill as proposed by the committee, which include but are not limited to ensuring that additional funding of educational bursaries, funding of climate change mitigation measures, and funding of recurrent activities, utilities for the constituency, the digital hubs. So there are several amendments in there, especially on which other areas need to be funded that are contained in the amendments that the committee is looking at. Honorable Speaker, I therefore beg to move this very important bill, which will ensure that the importance of national government CDF continues without issues, especially these many issues that make people go to court. Honorable Speaker, by passing this bill, we are telling the busybodies that always want to take CDF to court, that they want to remove CDF from the history of this country, that this bill will cure that, such that we will not have now other people who are saying CDF is unconstitutional. This is a death knell on the people that always want to subvert the activities of NG-CDF. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request that the Honorable Robert Mbui, the eminent deputy leader of the minority party, seconds. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed, Honorable Mbui.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, the acting leader, because the leader of majority was not here when this motion was being moved. A motion that is, sponsored by both the majority leader and the minority leader. So, Madam Speaker, I stand to second on behalf of the minority leader this very, very important bill. Madam Speaker, it's important to first look at the history of CDF, because it has been, it has changed quite a number of times. And this is a fund that was started in 2003. And Madam Speaker, the real intention behind CDF was just to ensure that there's equitable distribution of development resources across the country, so that every far-flung corners of the country and those that are near the center would get some fair amount of money so that they could be able to develop their regions. Madam Speaker, in 2013, the CDF Act was repealed and replaced by the CDF Act of 2013. Madam Speaker, again, in 2015, the CDF Act again was repealed and then replaced by the NG-CDF Act of 2015. And the reason behind these changes, Madam Speaker, is that, one, there has been major changes in the landscape of the country. In terms of developmental needs, in terms of understanding how the program works, and how the fund could be improved so that it could be able to serve citizens even better. Madam Speaker, also, we've faced a challenge by people that have constantly gone to court to challenge this fund. And Madam Speaker, again, there's also been the new constitution of 2010. Currently, I would call it an old constitution because it's like 13 years old. But 2010 constitution also, when it came, we also had to make sure that we align the CDF Act with the constitution so that we are not against the supreme law. So, Madam Speaker, these changes have taken place over the years, and now we are still again trying to make further changes so that we can make it even better. Madam Speaker, it is important to note that changes are not necessarily bad, and every time you must also adapt to the circumstances and the situations where you are. Madam Speaker, historically, the fund of CDF has been one of the most successful funds this country has ever had. In fact, it has been a game changer. Madam Speaker, there are places when CDF started, there were absolutely no schools, and CDF put up schools. Madam Speaker, there were chiefs that had no offices. CDF put up those chiefs' offices. Madam Speaker, I can tell you that even when CDF started, because at that time, it was even dealing with issues to do with dispensaries and healthcare. Madam Speaker, there are so many dispensaries that were put up under CDF that if they were not put up then, even the county governments today would probably never have reached that level. So, Madam Speaker, this is a game changer. And, Madam Speaker, the most interesting thing to note is that CDF does not have a lot of money. Financially, every year, it's just about 100 million per constituency. But if you look at what CDF has done in all our constituencies within the counties, you will be shocked. You can hardly compare what has been done by CDF